Hello again, this is Bruce from Bruce Fixes Stuff, and when I did the video for the wrap of this door, one of the things I had to do was take off this outer door handle. And when I did that, I discovered that these handles attach differently than any other outer door handle that I've ever taken off in my whole life, and I've taken off many. So I thought, if you ever have to take off a door handle on a Nissan Juke, you might want to see the video of how that works. So here is not the whole video about the wrap, just the video about how to take off the door handle. This particular one is a 2011 Nissan Juke, and this is the driver's door on a North American version. So this one's got the key lock. And let's get on that video about how to change this door handle. I do understand that Nissan Jukes are prone to having broken door handles, especially on the driver's door. So luckily I haven't had to replace it because it's broken, but I did have enough to do the wrap. So let's get into how that came about, how that comes off, and here we go.
Now, this door handle is a little different than any other door handle I've ever taken off before. Normally, you take off the inside door panel, and there's bolts, one here usually and one over here, that holds it in. This car doesn't have that. This is different. On this one, what you do is you pull out this part of the handle, and it pulls back, but you've got to take this off first. So I'm going to take off the wrap that I had on here when I was just experimenting and playing around with it. This wrap can come off. We're going to do this again nicely. That wrap can come off. Yeah, I'll get it off the rest of the way after I get the cap off. But this cap has to come off, and it's just held on by a clip. So it should be very easy to get off. This isn't the tool I wanted, but it's the one that's handy. And that comes off like that. And this comes out. And apparently it just unclips like that. And then you've got that rod. Can you see the rod in there? There's a rod in there. That goes on into that pink clip. So when I take that off, this thing will come out. That's easy enough. And then once I've done that, we can then deal with the handle, the rest of the handle. This section though has two wires attached to it, so I do have to take the panel off the inside, disconnect those two wires so that I can remove the handle. Now I've already had this door panel off, so it's just kind of sitting in place. I've got the clips and it's just sitting there. What I have to do to get the panel off is undo these clips that are down here. But do I really need to take the panel off? I can just clip it back up there again. Now let me show you what we're looking at inside the door. There are these clips where the wires connect. There's one there, and there's one just a little farther up in there. So I've got to kind of behind each other right here and here. Here and here. So what I have to do is disconnect those wires, and then I can pull that handle out. In theory. Now we're going to test a theory. I've got this unplugged. Theoretically, this comes back when it's not quite in the fully open position. And then you got to wiggle this out of here.
Wiggle, wiggle, whoa. Wiggle, wiggle, whoa. Wiggle, wiggle, ooh, wah, ooh. Wiggle, wiggle, wah. Wiggle, wiggle, ooh. How's that?
Wiggle it. This wiggles out, supposedly. But I've got to figure out how exactly. Catching on. I'm not sure what's catching. plastic gasket. That's kind of neat. Move it back. And then you can get the handle parts out. And I still have to get that rod off now. I don't know what opened that from inside, so now I'm going to have to reach in from the other side to open the door. Now there is a Torx screw that goes in through this little hole here. It goes into this and holds this part in. So I guess that's their way of keeping it from popping out. And now it's hard to see in here with the camera. It's hard enough to see in here with just the light itself. But I've got to get this rod out of the groove that it's in. And it's clipped into this little pink clip here. And then out it comes like that, and then it dropped down inside the door, so I will have to figure that out later. But now the handle's off, so I can wrap this thing. And I'm thinking that whole piece inside comes off just like that. Oh wow, that's actually easier than I thought. Quite an interesting way of doing this. I've never seen a door handle like this, but it works well.